Hi, I am Liz Chamberlain. I am Director of Sustainability at iFixit. iFixit is the world's largest free repair manual. We have repair guides for fixing everything from toasters to tractors. And we sell parts and tools. And one of our most recent tools is this soldering iron, the FixHub. It's a smart soldering iron. It's battery powered, USB-C powered. And we are currently working on this Learn to Solder kit that tells you how to put it together. The board itself has the instructions. You don't even need a guide for it. We haven't put this out yet, but it's in development right now. And I am not an expert solderer. I am a brand new solderer.
Is it a kit like this to learn?
Yes, that's the kit. You're welcome to take one.
And then this one is powered by your battery right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a 100-watt output battery, and
How long can it solder?
Huh?
How much can you do with one charge?
8 hours of continuous soldering.
That's pretty much.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a lot of fixing.
Or learning to solder if you're like me. So I was not paying attention and was talking to people, and I put my LED on backwards on this board. And so currently I'm trying to desolder it. And I have even less experience at desoldering than I do at regular soldering. So I'm trying to get the solder up into this copper braid.
How much it costs this soldering kit?
For the whole roll here, it's $300.
For the whole, all the way down?
The whole roll, which includes solder and flux and cutters and these flush cutters and a tip cleaner and safety glasses, all of this stuff. If you want to get just the iron and the battery pack, that's $250. Just the iron is $80, and this can plug in via USB-C to anything that can output USB-C.
It's a special battery that has high power output, no?
Yes.
To be able to do this.
Yeah. It can output 100 watts. Not actually simultaneously with both irons. So if you have two irons plugged into it, they cap out at 50 watts. But really, it only draws that much when it's heating up.
And if it breaks, you can fix it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Truly, it's. We have a guide for taking it apart. It's got screws on the back.
That's good.
You can open it up and change things out. We've got 3D print files for the case, so if you want to make your own case and mod it, you can do that.
So what do you think about the EU? I mean, I'm joking a little bit, but they're trying to do a little bit like some rules about some of the tech stuff has to be like
right to repair.
not manufactured obsolescence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have long. Maybe, what do you think about all this stuff?
I mean, we love it, and we're deeply engaged. We have an advocate who works for us. It's in Brussels, who has worked really closely on right to repair reforms in the EU. And I work on right to repair in the US. It's something we care a lot about. We think if you own it, you should be able to fix it.
And I think smartphones and laptops should have user replaceable batteries, easily replaceable batteries. It's not so easy to replace these batteries, is it?
Yeah, unfortunately, often not. And a lot of our pushing manufacturers is asking them to make batteries more user replaceable, make it so that you can pry out a battery without having to, dissolve adhesive with a solvent or pull on tabs that break, sort of thing.
Could you talk about some of the other stuff that's on the table here?
Yeah.
Is something else here?
Yeah, so this is Protect Go. We released this last year. It's a smaller version of our sort of bread and butter kit. It's got most of the bits you need to do major electronics repair. So, all the bits you need to get into iPhones and MacBooks and that sort of thing. It's got a bunch of different pry tools. We call this a jimmy. This is a spudger. This is ESD safe, and it's got a sharp end and a pry end. And then a suction cup to pry a screen off. And then this is the new driver that we're releasing. We released a couple of months ago.
What's special about this one?
It's
is it this one?
a 6-in-1 driver. And so it's got, the bit comes out and is interchangeable like that. And then this whole larger section also comes out. That too has an interchangeable bit. So you've got 4 different bits like that. There we go.
Nice. How do you create all these guides for fixing stuff? Is there like a community contributions?
Yeah, about half of our guides are made in-house by our team of technical writers. We've got folks who have, electrical engineering and mechanical engineering degrees and so on that work with us to make guides. And the other half are made by our community. We've got a wiki editable set of repair manuals. You can change any of the guides on our site if you find something wrong. We love when people comment if they encounter something that doesn't work for them. And again, about half of the guides on our site, folks from the community.
And I guess ChatGPT, all these guys, they just read your guides and help people do step by step.
Yeah. There was one day last year that we had our servers hit over 1 million times by Anthropic's crawler. We've definitely been seeing them crawling our site a lot. And in response to that, actually last month we released an app. For the first time, we're back in the App Store since 2012 when we got kicked out. And with the launch of our app, we're announcing our own AI chatbot that looks at all of our guides and our manuals and uses them to deliver hopefully better repair information for people.
Because some people, they want to just have a voice prompt or something and just start fixing them directly. They don't want to read the guide.
Yeah.
They just want to basically get help, get it done.
Totally.
And maybe your chatbot can help it get it done faster.
Yeah. We want you to look at the guide and look at the pictures. So I think, we have people who are trained in helping you step by step walk through a repair. And a non-deterministic tool may or may not do that in the way that we want them to. But our chatbot will direct you to the guide, and it can answer questions about the guide.
And your role that you do at iFixit, can you say a little bit more what you do day to day?
So I have two major hats. I head our advocacy team, so I head the team that works on right to repair legislation around the globe. And I also head our editorial team, which makes videos, and Shahram over here is our YouTube host, and we've got over 1 million subscribers on our own YouTube channel showing people how to take things apart. So that's going great, the YouTube? Yeah, it's doing really well, and we love the connection that we have to the community that way. I think a lot of people find iFixit and learn about right to repair and learn about repairing things through YouTube.